Imagine turning just one product image into 1,000 unique, user-generated style ads without needing a big team or a huge budget. I struggled with bad creatives too, but after testing a new workflow, I finally cracked the code. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how I set this up, automate the process, and scale to 1,000 ads a week, even if you're starting from nothing. So before we actually get into the workflow, you need to understand what actually makes it possible. And it all comes down to something I call the cascade. We start with one single product image, and this is the only input we need for the entire workflow. From that image, we generate multiple actors, and each one is built around a different angle of your target audience. So instead of creating one generic UGC ad and hoping it works for everyone, every actor is matched to a specific pain point, use case, or customer type. And then each one branches into multiple AI video models in parallel. So in just a few clicks, you can go from one single product image into hundreds of AI UGC ads that are ready to run. And the number of ads you can create with this cascade depends on how much you want to scale it. Because with the right setup, this can easily go up to 1,000 ads per day. However, there's one big problem. This kind of workflow doesn't really work with the normal AI platforms. If you want, you can actually test it yourself, but you'll quickly realize how limited they are. And that's because every time one tool gives you an output, you have to manually take it, upload it somewhere else, and repeat that same process for every single step. So it would take you an entire workday just to get 10 ads done. And that completely destroys the whole point of building an automated cascade in the first place. The only real fix I've found so far is using a node-based canvas. Now, if you don't know what that means, just imagine a giant whiteboard where you can place every part of your workflow as its own block. You can add as many actor, image, and video generation blocks as you want. Then all you have to do is drag a line from one block to the next. From there, the canvas automatically takes the output from one step and sends it straight into the next one. So instead of switching between 5 different tabs and manually moving files around, you build the entire system on one screen. And when you zoom out, you can see the full workflow at once. But let me show you how this actually works in practice. For this, I'm going to use Arcads because they just released a new node-based feature called Workflow Builder, and they were also kind enough to sponsor this video. So if you want to follow along, I'll leave the link in the description below. Once you're inside Arcads, click on New Workflow to open a fresh canvas. To add something to it, just double-click anywhere inside, and a pop-up will appear with all the blocks you can use. Here, you'll find multiple options like the prompt section, the image and video generator, and even some special AI features. And for each one, you can choose the exact model you want to use, so you're not limited to a specific one. You can choose between popular models like Nano Banana Pro, GPT Image 2, and Seedream 4.5 for the image models, and Seedance 2, VO 3.1, and Kling 3 for the video part. Now let me show you how simple it is to use. I'll add 2 pieces to the canvas, one for the prompt and one for the image. Then I'll write a quick description of what I want to create. After that, I'll take the output dot from the prompt and drag a line into the image section. Now everything is connected, so all that's left to do is press generate and look at it, and every block works the same way. You add the blocks you need, connect them together, and the canvas runs the entire flow for you. So the basic mechanics are extremely simple, but in just a minute, you'll see how powerful this becomes once we start building the real cascade. However, before we get into the actual cascade build, we need all the prompts and scripts that are going to feed it. And because the number of them is going to be quite big, I'm not going to write them by hand. What I'll do instead is use Claude to help me. So let me open a new chat. Now, the way I like to set up Claude for this is to follow a simple structure every time, because without it, I get pretty generic results that won't actually convert. First, I tell Claude how it should behave and what knowledge it should access. In this case, I set it up as a senior performance marketer and UGC ad scriptwriter. From there, I tell it the product I'm advertising and what it does. Then I'll add the target audience we want to reach and the platform we'll run the ads on. So Claude has both the role and the context locked in before we ask anything. Once that's done, I give Claude 4 tasks. We start by asking it to identify the top 3 pain points the product solves. From there, it writes 5 UGC scripts, each one tied to a different pain point. And every script follows the standard UGC structure of hook, problem, solution, and CTA. Then it scores these scripts itself and only keeps the strongest ones. And finally, it suggests the ideal actor type for every script based on real research. Then I press send and let it run. A few seconds later, it gives me back a few full UGC scripts plus the matching actor briefs. Now it's time to create the actors from those briefs. With those scripts in hand, the very first thing I do is drop in the product image as the foundation of the whole canvas. For this video, I'm using a clean shot of a white Stanley tumbler. From there, I head to the image section and add 5 Nano Banana Pro blocks to the canvas. These are going to generate our 5 different actors. Then I connect each Nano Banana Pro block back to the product image we uploaded. So every one of them has the tumbler as a reference. And the only setting I need to adjust on these blocks is the aspect ratio, which I keep at 9:16 for vertical format. And then I add a prompt section for each one. After that, I drop in the 5-actor prompts Claude wrote. For example, here's the text I'll paste in for Maya. She's in her late 20s, sitting in front of a ring light and holding the tumbler. So I'll do the same and simply paste in the prompt for the rest of the actors. To generate them, I just press the small arrow icon in the bottom right of each Nano Banana Pro block. And the moment I do, all 5 start rendering at the same time. About 30 seconds later, the canvas fills up with 5 completely different stills. One of them is in their bedroom with a ring light, one is at a window side desk, and another is even at the gym. So we already have most of the environments we'd want to promote our product in. Now, as you can see, every actor is holding the real Stanley tumbler from our product image, even though none of the prompts describe the cup themselves. And this is only possible because of the connection to the product image, which carries it through automatically. In this way, we generated 5 different actors in the time it would normally take to render one. So the next step is to turn them into actual videos. I head to the video section and add 5 Seedance 2.0 blocks to the canvas, alongside a prompt section for each one, right next to the actor column. Then, for each video block, I take the image output from one Nano Banana Pro and drag a line into the matching Seedance block. The connection lights up in green between the two of them, so every actor now connects directly to its own video. Once you've wired the first one, the other 4 are exactly the same drag and drop. Now, to set up the video generation, I'll click on the 3 dots in the corner of any Seedance block to open the settings. I keep the aspect ratio at 9:16 for vertical format, set the duration to 15 seconds, and make sure audio is on while also setting the resolution to 1080p. After that, I'll drop in the video script Claude wrote for Maya. This one is built around the hydration angle. But now, let's do the same for the rest of our actors. Now, I press generate on each of the 5 Seedance blocks and the entire column starts loading. After a couple of seconds, all 5 videos are rendered.
Every other water bottle I owned leaked in my
Carrying
bag.
3 bottles felt insane. This one does
my desk
40
all day. The handle alone makes me
hours. I literally pour at 8 a.m.
But to actually scale this system, we need to multiply the number of video blocks. Now for this example, I'll create only 20 UGC ads to keep everything clean and clear. But you can use this same exact process to generate hundreds of ads. So now let's head back to the video section and add 5 more blocks right next to the Seedance column. This time, I'm testing Kling 3.0 Pro. Then I connect each Nano Banana Pro image and each script section into its matching video block. For the settings, I'll keep the ratio as is and bump the duration to 15 seconds. Now, the reason I'm running Kling on top of Seedance is because each model handles motion and lighting in its own way. So your product might end up looking way better in one over the other, and you only know which one by testing both. Once that's done, hit generate. Then we do the exact same thing for Sora 2 Pro and VO 3.1. I add 5 new blocks next to the Kling column, connect them to their actor image, and hit generate. By now, we have 4 columns running side by side. With 5 actors going through 4 different video models, that gives us 20 unique generations on the same canvas. And the cool thing about running multiple models in parallel is that you get a lot of options you can choose from really fast. After just a few minutes, we get back 20 UGC clips from a single product image. But even with all 20 videos rendered, we still don't have a finished UGC ad that we can run. There are 2 more types of shots that we haven't generated yet, and we need both of them to actually finish the ad. The first one is the cinematic reveal of the product. For this, I add a new Nano Banana Pro block and connect the original product image as the reference. Then I paste in a prompt I got from Claude. And once the new image renders, I wire that into a new Seedance block as a reference. From here, I'll write another prompt, but this time it's for the video. After it generates, we have a short cinematic intro clip ready for the very first shot of the ad. So let's go ahead and create the second one needed, which is the B-roll. For this, I'll add 3 new Seedance blocks to the canvas and keep all the settings the same for them. Then, for each one, I wire in a different character image we already generated as the reference. After that, I drop in one shared prompt that feeds all 3 blocks. Using the same prompt across all of them keeps the action consistent, even though the characters and settings are different. So now let's press generate. After they render, we have 3 B-roll clips for the middle of the final ad. So let's jump into CapCut to put the final final ad together. I picked the 5 best clips from everything we generated. The cinematic product reveal, 2 of the strongest talking head clips from the cascade, and 2 of the B-roll clips. Then I start stitching them together. The cinematic reveal goes first, so the ad opens with that high-end product feel. Then I bring in the talking head clips and layer the B-roll moments in between, so the whole thing feels more dynamic and natural. At the end, I add one final reveal frame to bring the focus back to the product. After that, I add captions to every spoken line, drop in some light background music, and cut everything tight to around 30 to 45 seconds. And once I export it, we finally have a finished UGC ad ready to run. So let's watch it.
Every other water bottle I owned leaked in my backpack. Got this, tossed it in upside down on a hike, 0 leaks. Thing is built different.
I used to forget to drink water until 3 p.m. Tried this thing, sits on my desk all day. The handle alone makes me actually pick it up. 8 glasses every day, no thinking. You need this.
This came out exactly the way I wanted it to. The cinematic intro makes the product feel premium from the first frame, and the talking head delivery feels natural enough to make people buy. So if you want to build the same workflow for yourself and create dozens of UGC ads without a marketing team, go sign up to ArcAds using the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.